Hey and welcome to another episode of Quick Expert Reviews. Today we've got a quick comparison of an iPad Pro 9.7 and a Google Pixel C. Now these are both devices are equipped with keyboards. Now this is the Google Pixel C, definitely better looking. You've got a Type-C port on the side, one of the stereo speakers, power button on top, another speaker on the side and headphone jack. Looks really nice, really nice feeling. And that's the keyboard, yeah. So the way you attach it, you do it via the magnet which is on top, but that magnet also doubles up as a hinge. So as you can see, you can adjust the viewing angles, which is pretty decent as opposed to the iPad Pro, which I'll show you later on. And other than that, that's the device itself. So as you can see, you can't really see yet, but the device is running on the latest Android 8.0, which is the Oreo. So where is it? Yep. So Android 8.0.0, which has been released just recently for the Pixel C, at least in UK. This is a 64 gig SSD model, which is running on the Tegra K1. It does not support any form of 4G or SIM tray, nothing at all. So you can only use your Wi-Fi, or obviously you can set it. On top of that, like I showed you, you've got the Pixel C genuine physical keyboard, which has its own shortcuts. So both keyboards, the iPad Pro and the Pixel C, has its own way of enhancing, speeding up your whole keyboard experience. So when you, for example, press the search button and enter, it goes back to the home screen. Or as you've seen, you can press the search and B, which stands for browser, and it opens the browser. As you could also see, I had like 3 browsers, so you have to choose your default browser to be opened by the search and B button. Going back to the tablet itself and the way you remove the keyboard, which is you have to like put it flat and then remove the tablet itself. The magnet is very strong. I mean, really strong, which I'll demo in a second. The way the magnet works is actually in the tab, and yeah, you can basically stick it to a fridge or like a metal cabinet like I did in here, and you can still operate the tab. So like I told you, the magnet is really strong, and it's also quite clever how it charges the keyboard. So when you fold the tab with the keyboard, it uses induction charging, wireless charging, and it actually charges the keyboard. So the keyboard itself doesn't have any Type-C or micro USB ports in it. It charges wirelessly from the tab when it's closed. Now, being an Android 8.0 and obviously from 7.0, you've got full proper multitasking, where you can slide both windows. You can use it with most of the apps. Now, some of the apps do not support it, but I would say that at least 70 or even 80% of the apps do support the split screen mode. As you can see, I've got an AliExpress in here and a Safari browser to the left. You can do the same with, I don't know, eBay and Excel, or which I'll show you in a second anyway. But yeah, now the big thing for me with a tab is gaming as well. Now this being an Android tablet and an actually quite powerful tablet, having a Tegra K1, which is basically in a Shield tab, and the Nintendo Switch. I thought I'm going to test some games. So I know that GTA 3 might not be the most demanding game on the planet, but at least you can unlock the frame rate. So it goes in 60 frames per second as opposed to the iPad Pro and you can enhance the visuals, which again you cannot do on an iPad Pro. Um, Now, the funny thing is that you can connect a Bluetooth controller. I've tried to connect a PS4 DualShock 4, but that didn't work via Bluetooth. It worked via a Type-C adapter and micro USB cable. However, all the buttons were really awkward. So left was right and so on, so on. So if you can adjust it in a game in settings, you can do it, but it's funny. Now, the Xbox 360 controller, a wired controller, worked like a dream. So if you're planning on playing any emulators or anything like that, you can do that. That was a quick game of Ascension as well. Again, another game that runs in 60 frames per second. Now, here comes my beloved iPad Pro. To be honest, when I got the Pixel C, I thought I'm gonna sell the Pro, but I didn't, and I'll tell you later on why I didn't, and why did I stick to the iPad Pro as opposed to the Pixel C. Now, this is the keyboard. Again, it uses a different type of connection. It doesn't wirelessly charge, but it doesn't need charging either. Both keyboards are not backlit. Now, this one doesn't allow you to adjust the hinge. So if you want to adjust the viewing angle, you have to prone something between the tab and the stand itself if you want to adjust it. Now, you do have a display mode, how they call it, or a theater mode, but it adjusts the angle just a bit. This one is now running on iOS 11. It's not the beta, it's the full version of iOS 11. So both devices are running on the latest software. I'm going to show you multitasking as well, because it is a bit different from iOS 10 or even 9. However, it's still not as good as it is on the Android tab. Now, if you want to look at the shortcuts, you just press and hold the command button, either on the home screen, or you press and hold that button in the relevant app, and it shows you relevant shortcuts. Other than that, let's open Safari, and yeah, you've got a dock which kind of reminds me of a Macintosh dock, Mac OS X dock. Now, as you can see, some Apple apps like Safari and App Store can be used in a multitasking mode. However, you have to kind of tap to use the app. So it's kind of freezes the app in the background for a second in order to use it. Now, another app I wanted to open is Excel, just to show you that again, if you're planning on using it with Safari or a simple app like that, you can do that. However, if you want to use, let's say, eBay, you can't do that. There is no way you can multitask with eBay. So it will just show you a window and then it will spread into like a full-blown app. Now, you can use a multitasking that shows you like what you have been using recently. You can use Safari as a additional window, which basically works as a full-blown browser, but you cannot, as you can see, use it with eBay app. So if you want to, so as you can see, even though Apple calls it a very productive device, iOS 11 is the biggest change to iPad since the iPad, and so on and so on. It's not that, in terms of usability, I would still prefer the Pixel tablet. But there are some neat features, like you can, if you've got an attachment, like you can see I've got a picture in here, I can just drag it around. Just need to find something more useful than that. Let's open files. Now you see you can't just drag and drop a picture. It won't save it to the files folder. You have to drag and drop it to a compatible app, which is Notes or another email, and so on, so on. So you don't have to like attach pictures anymore. You can just drag and drop them to different emails. So yeah, this is, you've got notes up in here and you can drag and drop it if you want to do anything like that. So the main reason really that's made me stay with the iPad Pro rather than Pixel C is the app compatibility, the ease of use. Seriously, some of the Google apps don't work in landscape mode on a tab like YouTube Creator Studio, for example, which is really puzzling to me. But it is how it is, how Google decides to do things. So thank you very much for watching another episode, and I will see you next time. Bye.